Shalom, it's Eddie back with another video. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. Today we're going to be talking about something that's super important in my personal opinion, and that is phone service here in Africa, right? How I go about it. Really, this video should be helpful for anybody looking to travel anywhere abroad for the first time, or anybody looking to move abroad for the first time. This video should be rather helpful. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump into my personal setup when it comes to phones. Alright, so I basically, on a average day, may have 1, 2, or 3 of these devices on me at the same time. So we'll go ahead and break down each of them. So this right here is my main phone. This is a Google Pixel 3. Take it off, take the backing off for you. This is my second Pixel actually. I've had 2 of them. So this one is white. See, still got the sticker on there. I haven't even peeled it off. I just put it straight into the case. White with a green button on the side. And it is a Pixel 3 64GB version. I consider this to be my main phone. Alright. Now what I mean by that is I use that phone to watch all my YouTube videos on. I use that to reply to all my comments. I use that to just browse the internet, search different things on the internet, and things like that. Now, this phone is super important to me because within this phone, I have a SIM card for a phone company called Google Fi. Now, Google Fi is something that I've been using since I came, actually before I came over to the continent, maybe like a month before I came over, I switched over to Google Fi. And that is super important to me because that allows me to have kept my American number. And so I've had the same exact number for probably, I don't know, 5+ years. And I've been using that same exact number. And so what happens is when you want to access your bank account, especially when you're overseas and you're moving overseas for a long period of time, you need to be able to access your bank account. They're going to say, hey, I need to verify this is you. I need to send you a text message, and they're going to want a real legit number, like a number that's connected to Metro, T-Mobile, Verizon, Sprint. They want a real number like that. There's people who try to use a text now service or who may try to use a different version of that, but it just will not work for every single reputable business out there. They want like a legitimate phone number. And so for me, Google Fi does that. It's the same number that I had on T-Mobile that transferred to Metro, that transferred to Google Fi. So I've been having the same number for a super long time, and so I don't have issues when I want to access my bank, when I want to log into my Stripe account, when I want to log into any account that requires 2-factor authentication. I send you a text, this phone number works with it. And it's connected to Google Fi. Now the way I use Google Fi is I use it for calls and text, but they charge you 20 cents per minute when you make a phone call to like the US or to these different national and different countries when you are overseas, unless you use Wi-Fi. If you use Wi-Fi only, then the calls are free and the text messages are always free. Now Google Fi, I chose that one mainly because it can be used, I think, in like 130 countries or whatever. But this phone has worked for me when I was in Tanzania, Egypt, Amsterdam, Turkey, Dahar. It works pretty much everywhere I've been. Whether it was a layover in the airport and to text people, hey, I landed, or whether it was, making a phone call to the States to handle a certain business thing that you had to handle on the phone. It's worked for most of those times that I've needed it. I pay $18 per month per line. I have on my plan, I have Shane on my plan as well. So we pay $18 each. And after tax and everything, I end up paying around $59 a month. It's like taxes and there's some fees that they add on top of it. Sometimes they'll also, well, $18 a month is unlimited calls, unlimited text, but sometimes they'll also charge you, like I said, 20 cents per minute for a phone call, so that will sometimes be an additional cost. Other times they'll also charge you $10 per gigabyte of data you use. But for me, that's why the second device comes in handy. So with this phone, I keep my data off. I always have my data off on this phone because I'm not going to be paying $10 per gigabyte. What I do instead is I carry this phone with me when I'm out and about with no data on, just calls and texts. And then I'll take this right here with me. But this right here is a hotspot. So because I don't have data on my phone, if I was out and about, my phone is all greasy. If I was out and about, I wouldn't be able to call like Uber. I wouldn't be able to call Kareem, Boats, or whatever without this device because my phone doesn't have data on there because I'm not going to be paying $10 per gigabyte. So I usually will come and I'll come to a country, whatever country I'm in, whether it's Egypt, Tanzania, it's unlocked. And what I'll do is, right here is a SIM card. So I'll go to whatever country I'm in, go to the local Vodafone, Vodacom, wherever you can go to, and then I will get a local SIM, and then I'll buy data on that SIM card, and then that is how I power this phone with data. Same thing for Nolan Michelle's phone. We both keep our data off because I pay the phone bill, and I'm not trying to pay an extra $10 a gigabyte or 20 cents per minute for phone calls. So we always use this for data, which is significantly cheaper, and then we'll basically power up our phones as far as Uber, Bolt, WhatsApp, and things like that. So if I contact people, I'm either going to use WhatsApp or text now, so that way I can avoid the 20 cents and avoid the data cost. So boom, I always carry these two around with me. And then the next device that I have is this right here. I call this a trap phone. You know what I mean? It's not a phone that you really use for day-to-day activities. You just use it to handle certain local business. Right now I'm in Egypt, so this is my Egyptian phone. I'll use this. Let's say I want to make an order on a certain app, and they say, okay, I'm going to give you a call to confirm your order. You need an Egyptian number to do that. They're going to call me on this phone. Let's say I need to call a local business and ask them a question. Hey, I want to know what time you guys open. It says this on the website, but I don't know if that's true. So and so and so. Boom, I handle this on this phone right here. This phone costs around $10, I believe, and it may cost basically very, very little money to keep minutes and text on this phone. So every once a month we'll go and we'll load the SIM card up with some more minutes or some more text. But it's very insignificant the amount we spend on this phone every month. And this phone itself is like $10, $10 to $15, I believe. So that's basically my setup. Google Fi, $59 a month. There's certain tips and tricks that you can use to make it free, and that's what I do. So I don't pay any monthly bill anymore. I found it out once I got to Egypt, so I don't pay a monthly bill anymore on Google Fi, but I still have my US number. I still have the Google Fi service, but I don't pay any monthly bill. This right here, maybe $3 to $4 a month, probably for phone service on this. This will charge it up once a month, maybe $8 to $9 a month for data. So what I was paying for 1 gigabyte here, I'm getting around 12 gigabytes here. That's pretty much how I rock with the phone service. So I recommend you guys do the same. Get you an unlocked phone, get Google Fi on there. Then when you get to the country that you're going to be going to, get a local phone. Get the cheapest one. Don't try to be like, I need a touchscreen, I need this. No, get the cheapest phone you can get, because you're only going to use it for calls and for text. You know, what some people do instead of getting the trap phone is they will get a real legit, good unlocked phone to take it from country to country to country. That works as well. But this is just my method because I already have Google Fi. It's just way cheaper to just get a cheap phone joint. And that's why I recommend setting up Google Fi. Link in the description. If you use the link in the description, you'll get $20 off of your bill, and I'll get $20 off of my bill as well. And so right now I'm pretty much just stockpiling those credits because, like I said, I already found a trick to not pay my Google Fi bill. But use the link, and I get $20, you get $20, and boom, that's cool. Trap phone, yeah, get the cheapest one you can get. Don't try to flex. Don't try to get no touchscreen. Rock out with this. I don't even really take this out the house with me, to be honest. But I should start doing that. And then TP Link. This is probably going to be the one thing you can get while you're here in other country. I got mine in Tanzania, and I've just been taking it around with me place to place. But I mean, it does a service. It does a good job. You got to make sure to charge it. It has a battery inside, and you got to plug it in right there. That's my phone service setup. That's what I recommend to you if you're looking to leave the country for a very, very, very long period of time. If you enjoyed this video, I'm pretty sure you're going to like my book that I wrote, African American's Guide to Tanzania. You can actually pick up a copy of that book linked in the video's description. On that book, I cover things like phone service. I tell you guys, who to go to for phone service, different things like that. It's made specifically for Tanzania, but in reality, it can be applied to most African countries. I went ahead and revised the book. It at first was a bestseller on Amazon. Then I went ahead and revised that joint and added some information in that I found out while being here in Egypt. I highly recommend you guys pick up a copy of that book. It's linked in the video description. But other than that, see you guys in the next one. Y'all willing. Peace.